Ring IQ TV, proudly joined by one of the UK's best talents in the amateur game at the moment. It's Tobias Big T Taylor. How you doing, mate? You alright?
Doing good. How are you doing, mate?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good, man. Thank you for taking the time out, obviously, to speak to us. Just come fresh off a win in the Manchester Box Cup. But before we get into that, just tell us a bit about yourself, your upbringing, and what got you into boxing.
Well, I was at quite a young age. I've always liked boxing. I've always been interested. It's always fascinated me, the sport. And when I was younger, I was just quite a big lad. I was 9 and I weighed 11 stone. I always wanted to go boxing, and my dad was put it off, because nobody really thought, because I like my food so much, no one would ever think that I'd be a boxer, do you know what I mean? Anyway, finally took me and my older brother, we went, and my big brother, he was a natural. He was class and I wasn't. And anyway, so on. My brother fell back and he never boxed someone. I kept going and progressively just got the weight off and started boxing like that.
Brilliant. And was you watching boxing at that age, or was it just something you got pushed into?
No, I always just wake up with my dad. My dad would never wake me up, but I'd try my hardest to get up at 4 o'clock to watch Manny Pacquiao and Mayweather and stuff like that. Always used to get up to watch the fights. I loved it.
Perfect. And was you into any other sports, or was it boxing your main sport and what you liked?
Yeah, boxing, none of them really appealed to me. It never fascinated me like boxing did.
And what kind of upbringing did you have? Obviously, your dad said he didn't want you to fight. Is it one brother you got, or?
Yeah, I had one brother and one little sister, and we was just a quiet, normal family. Christian, so we go to church and things, and it was just quiet like that. But just one day I thought I needed something. I needed a purpose. I needed to strive at something, and that was a dream to be a boxer. And here I am today.
And what can you tell, obviously, people your age, the younger generation as well? What advice can you give them to obviously keep themselves in check and obviously focus on something that will bring the best out of them?
Well, the thing is a lot of people, they don't want to, especially my age, young people, they don't want to sacrifice their youth life for the future. And you look around and you look at the world, and you look at these parties and everyone, what they could do in boxing, but they ain't doing because of their young life. To only sacrifice that for the rest is really not worth it compared to the dreams in boxing. It's got the power to change lives. Really not worth it. So my best advice is suffer now, but look at your life later.
Absolutely. And who's drilled that mentality into you? You don't get a lot of people your age who think like that. So who actually drilled that into you?
Well, you look at boxers like Canelo, and even old boxers like Roberto Duran. Look at boxers. Look at the life they're living now. They never had that when they was younger. They never had good, nice things around them. They never had money. They never had these achievements. And it goes to show that what boxing can do, it can change lives. It just goes to show you can do whatever you want in your youth life, but when you're 20 odd year old and it's too late to become a boxer, you regret it then.
Absolutely. And obviously you must get distractions, friends and families and events as well. How do you cope with kind of keeping that tunnel vision?
Well, it's a funny thing, when you've got a dream, you do anything to pursue that dream, and you just got to keep your head down. You got to stay out the mix, and the biggest thing is your faith as well. Just keep praying and keep focus on God and boxing, and that's the way I do it. Just keep my head down, stay out the mix, and because if you're in the mix, then it's even harder again. But if you keep your head down and keep close friends who's good, because at the end of the day, you're only as good as the company you keep. If you've got friends who's dragging you this way, dragging you that way, it's even harder again.
Absolutely. Just moving on, obviously you've accomplished a lot in amateur boxing so far. The last win was the Manchester Cup. Yeah. What else have you accomplished at such a young age?
Well, I've been 4 times national champion. I've won the European gold, European bronze, the BOXER World Box Cup for England, and the Tri-Nations, and a few box cups here and there.
So you're a well decorated amateur boxer. Which one means the most to you? Not the biggest, just the most to you.
The most to me was the bronze last year. I won a gold in 2022. Then 2023, I was messing about a bit. I was, you're getting distracted, and I never medalled at the Europeans that year. And then last year in 2024, I went back, and even though I got bronze, it wasn't a gold, but it meant so much to me that I got back on track and I focused. And I kept on going, and I medalled. And that's what meant the most to me.
It's funny you say that. Obviously, a lot of people would just say the gold because they won it.
Yeah.
Obviously, you fell short from the gold, and it's crazy that one stood out to you more. You're obviously a person who just wants to better yourself and improve and progress. You've got a lot of professional fighters that sing your praises. I believe Callum Simpson was on. It was on his Instagram post, obviously, about yourself. I think he commentated, right?
Yeah, he commentated on my fight Sunday. Last Sunday just went on Sky Sports in the Manchester Box Cup.
And then obviously you got Billy Joe Saunders as well. I believe he follows you.
Yeah, he follows me. So does Tyson Fury.
Okay. Have you spoken to any of them in person?
Not in person, not yet. Anyway, I've spoke to I was listening to Callum Simpson when I watched my fight back over. They all sing me praises, and it's not only that you hear here and there what boxers and people are saying about you. Because it's not to your face, it don't mean it don't get back to you. And to be fair, it's always been great stuff. It's always been good stuff. And it motivates you when you hear stuff about yourself that people who's accomplished world titles and even European titles, like Callum Simpson, I'm quite sure he's going for his European title soon. It really just gives you just that big boost and a motivation just to keep going when fighters like that's noticing you.
And how does that make you feel? I mean, you still level-headed, or do you take that bit of claim to fame?
Well, the thing is, what God can give, He can also take. So you got to always stay humble. And you, like Tyson Fury, even the greats like Muhammad Ali, there was just a man. No matter how good, how strong, and everything you are, you're just a man. So you got to stay humble. You got to keep your head down, and stay humble, because I'm no different to the next guy.
And what are your plans in the next few years? Obviously, you're turning 17 soon in a few weeks, so if I don't see you, happy birthday for that.
Thank you very much.
What are your plans in the next year or so?
Well, I'm going to do the youths, and I'm pretty sure I saw a poster today of the youth World Boxing's holding a Youth Worlds, and I'm sure there's a Youth Olympics as well. I'm not sure though. So I'm going to aim for them, and senior level, I'm not quite sure, because you've got to give a lot when you're a senior. And it's boxing no head guard, and my dream's always been to turn pro, so I'm going to look towards the pro side, probably the back end of next year. Get the youths out of the way, win a few more medals for England, and look towards turning pro.
You prefer to obviously turn pro at a younger age so you can start earning money. Obviously, it's not thousands or millions at the start, but obviously it's a little bit of income. Would you rather do that, or would you rather have a longer amateur career?
The thing is it's a funny thing with turning pro. Some lads, they can turn over at young age and they ain't developed enough, or they ain't strong enough. But then you get some lads like Moses Atama, turns over, he's knocking everyone out. So I think it's really what's up to you, and there's some lads who stay amateur too long. So I think it's hard to tell right now at the age I am. So I think you look a step ahead of you, not 3 steps ahead of you, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. And what kind of pressure is on you at this age, at this stage of your career as well, from friends, family, anyone? What kind of pressure is on you, or if at all?
Well, pressure's a funny thing, because being a decorated amateur boxer, all eyes is on you, and everyone around you, whether it's your closest friends and your family, they'll expect you to win. And even if they don't say that, everyone does. They expect you to win, especially when you're at the top. And with that, even the amateur boxing world, when you're at the top, you're the man to beat. They all want to beat you, because you've got to beat the best to be the best. So it is, you look at it as a way of pressure, but I don't feel pressure. At the end of the day, pressure's for tyres, you know what I mean?
I haven't heard that one before. Normally it's pressure makes diamonds, but that's a good one, to be fair. So you've had how many fights, amateur fights?
I've had 31 now, 31 fights, losing 4. losing them at top levels like semi-finals of the Europeans and stuff like that against Italian champions, and I've lost to the best, and I've stopped 14, 15 of them with my wins.
And how important is it to have an amateur background? Obviously, a lot of professionals haven't actually had an amateur background.
Yeah.
They've done well, and then a lot of them have and then haven't done so well.
Well, if you're a decorated amateur and your name's about and loads of people know you, it just makes life easier for when you turn over. Do you know what I mean? And I think you need that. You need people. You need followers. You need supporters. You need fans, and you rack them up as much as you can. And so I think it helps a lot, and I think it is important. Not taking away from anyone who ain't got a good background in amateur boxing. There's been loads of boxers turned over with no background at all. Look at Wardley. He was a white collar fighter. He turned over, and I like him. I think the man's great. I'm not saying I don't know where he's at in boxing. I don't know if he's world class or what, but I think he's great. So it is important, and there's only many few that don't have a good amateur background. But if you've got talent, it's going to show through amateurs, pros, wherever you are. So I think it's quite important.
Yeah, and like you said, obviously you need the whole package these days.
Yeah.
Social media is a massive tool that can obviously bring you an audience, and then boxing is about selling tickets as well.
It is. That's it. You need to be popular. You need your name out, and you do need your name out because you need to sell tickets. And it's not just in fact getting your name; it's what type of person you are as well. If you're a horrible person, you ain't going to get very far. No one's going to follow you. So you've got to be humble. You've got to keep your head down. You've got to rack up loads of followers. Then when you turn over, sell loads of tickets, and just bring the best out of you that you possibly can.
Absolutely. Tobias, anything you'd like to add before we wrap this up?
I'm not sure. Just watch your space because I'm coming. I'm coming hard.